Welcome back. In the kitchen with Matt Winters from the Waterfront Hotel and Convention Center in downtown Oshkosh, doing some great holiday brunch ideas. Earlier we made this apple cider syrup. Oh man, does it make the house smell good.
It smells like Christmas.
And so easy. Instead of just buying syrup, why not make it extra special? We just took some cinnamon sticks, a little bit of butter, brown sugar, and apple juice. Apple cider.
That's all it is.
Let it simmer for about how long?
Anywhere from 15 minutes to a half an hour. You want to reduce it by about half.
Okay, so
you can reduce farther if you want it thicker, or less if you like a lighter syrup.
and here it is. We pulled it off the heat, and it's already starting. It's not going to be like a real thick maple syrup, but
No, it won't be really gooey. It's very rich and flavorful, so you don't need a ton of it on there, but it'll cling.
it looks good, really good. All right, now to our upside down French toast. How fun. Just the name makes me smile. So put me to work. What do you need me to do?
First thing we're going to do is take the cherries.
Okay, and these are?
This is a dark sweet cherry. It's
frozen?
Frozen,
Okay.
right out of the freezer case.
Okay.
And I just thawed those out and I dumped everything, juicing all into the bowl.
Okay.
We're going to add a little bit of lemon juice to that, a couple tablespoons
Okay.
or so.
Okay.
And then we're going to add a little bit of sugar. Again, a couple of tablespoons of sugar.
So not all of it, just a little?
Yep, just a
out
little
there?
bit to
Okay.
sweeten it up some. And then a pinch or two of cinnamon.
Okay.
We're
Now, could you use something other than cherries? I love cherries, but is there another fruit you could use?
Any kind of fruit will do.
Okay.
So whatever your favorite is, strawberries are really good. Blueberry is fantastic. But any kind of either a fresh, the frozen actually works a little better in this particular recipe. Once you got this mixed like this, though, you can go ahead and either leave it marinating overnight if you want to get some more flavor.
Okay.
Or you can go ahead and start building it right in the pan and let it marinate in the pan.
Okay. But basically, we just took the fresh fruit. So in our case, we're using cherries, but you can do strawberries, blueberries, raspberries.
Yep.
Frozen, we've mixed it with a little bit of sugar, cinnamon, and lemon juice. Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to take a foil pan because I hate doing dishes.
Me too, especially on the holidays.
And we're going to take this butter stick.
Ann says me too over there.
And we're just going to take that and we're just going to rub it around just to coat it really good so that the French toast won't stick. And it also has a double benefit of being noisy. So it wakes the kids up and it adds a little flavor.
Okay.
Now we'll just take the cherries and we're going to dump that right in.
Right on the bottom.
Right on the bottom.
Okay. Or whatever fruit you're deciding to use.
Right. We'll just kind of scooch it around so it's nice and flat.
And you'll have some nice juice too,
Yep.
which is yum.
And we'll just set that aside for a minute.
Okay. Setting.
Now while that's marinating,
Okay.
we're going to build the batter for the French toast.
Okay.
So we're going to get a nice big bowl because we're going to stuff it full of bread and everything. We're going to add a little bit of cream.
Okay.
About a cup's worth.
Heavy cream. We love our Lamers heavy cream, best cream ever. Okay.
And then we're going to take about a cup and a half of milk.
Okay.
Now the addition of that cream just gives it a little added richness. You could do it with straight milk if you wanted a little lighter, but
Okay.
I personally like the cream in there.
It's the holidays, right?
It is. It is. Yeah.
More cinnamon, a little
Yep,
pinch.
just a little bit of cinnamon.
Okay.
Teaspoon or two. And a teaspoon of vanilla. I usually use the imitation. You can use, the pure if you want, a richer flavor. It's just kind of your choice.
Okay.
I tend to be kind of cheap, so.
Hey, it's the holidays, a lot of expenses. All right. So vanilla, heavy cream, milk, and cinnamon, and then we've got quite a few eggs.
Yep. For this recipe, we're going to do 7 eggs.
Okay. I'll crack some if you crack some. How
All
about
right.
that? And then show us what you're doing. Actually, if you want to, I'll crack. There we go. Sorry. Show us what you're doing with the bread, because that's really interesting.
With the bread, what we're going to do is we're going to peel it just like we would a melon and take the crust off.
So we've got crusty French bread,
Yep.
but we're going to remove the crust.
We're going to take the crust off. This is actually a day-old French bread,
Okay.
so it's a little easier to handle. So if you've got some French bread left over from dinner the night before, that works really nicely. Texas toast also works if you happen to have Texas toast laying around the house.
I wasn't counting, but how many eggs?
That's 7 eggs.
Okay, 7 eggs.
So the crust we just get rid of.
Or make croutons with, or stuffing with, or something
Crouton
like that.
stuffing, whatever you need to do. And then we're going to slice this up about 1 inch thick. And then after the batter is all set, we're just going to throw that in and let it start soaking up all that goodness.
Okay. So why remove the crust?
Well, it bakes up better.
Okay.
Because we're going to actually throw this in the oven.
Okay.
And the crust is already browned up.
Okay.
If we put it in, you get a tendency to burn a little bit, or just doesn't have the right texture.
I understand. A little too crispy. I understand what you're
Right.
talking about.
Now, I haven't been super finicky, so there's little bits of crust in there, so you don't need to, you don't need to worry about
You don't
getting,
need to go crazy.
Yeah, you don't need to get every little piece of it off of there.
But real important to really soak it up in this custard.
Right.
And you said you could actually have this soak overnight in the custard, right?
It's actually better if you leave it overnight, then it really absorbs everything, it gets all the way through the bread. It just makes it that much better.
Okay, so we've got our pan over here
Yep.
with our fruit on the bottom. And let's say it's the next morning, if you've got the time, or at least a few hours to let that bread really soak up that custard.
Right, and then you're just going to take that and you're going to cover up all of the cherries.
Okay.
Now, one loaf, for a pan this size, one loaf usually will fit just perfectly.
This is about a 9 by 13, something like that?
Roughly.
Okay.
Roughly 9 by 13.
Does it matter kind of how they're tucked in? Can you do a couple on the side?
No, you can. They're going to be nice and soft in the morning, so
Okay.
usually I just mash them in there just to make sure I've got it completely covered. How it looks before it goes in the oven is not as important as how it looks coming out.
I got it. But this is a pretty simple recipe, and what I like about it, it's really different.
Well, and you can do it the night before. So I mean, we're all busy in the holidays,
Yep.
so this can save a lot of time. Start your morning out on Christmas. Start your syrup. Get the house smelling wonderful. Everybody wakes up. They've got the aroma of Christmas going on. You can throw this in the oven, do your thing. Come back a half an hour, 45 minutes later, and breakfast is ready.
Yeah, and that's how, Christmas morning, I don't like being in the kitchen the whole time. That's no fun. Let's see if we can tuck 1 or 2 more pieces in here. But you're right, that amount of bread really worked perfect. So when it comes to baking this, what's the oven temperature, Matt?
350 degrees.
Okay.
Now, on my oven at home, I've got the convection mode.
Okay.
So I'll usually throw it in halfway, not convection, and
Okay.
then for the last half, I'll turn the fan on and let it go for a bit.
And about how long is it going to take?
About 25 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
Depending on your oven.
Okay.
Every oven's a little bit different.
And it is, but not only is the syrup smelling good, but this French toast smells amazing. Let's clean up our mess a little bit and let me show you this. So the surprise is when you go to, the upside down part, go to dig into this French toast, nobody's anticipating that little surprise of fruit on the bottom.
Exactly.
How fun is that? Okay. And whatever fruit your family loves. Oh, it puffs up.
It puffs up.
And I can
all of that egg in the
see
mixture.
why we remove the crust now, because it almost looks like a bread pudding or something.
It's very much like a bread pudding recipe.
Ooh. So we're going to plate it up.
Yep, we're going to take a scoop out of there.
Okay, let me get you a big spoon. And is that really the best way to do it? Just kind of spoon it?
Yep, either spoon or there's a spatula. We can lift half of it out.
Okay.
We'll cut that.
Oh, it smells so delicious. Nice big piece.
Yep, and then we just flip it over.
Oh, look at that. So that's the fun little surprise, and then maybe a powdered sugar over the top, some of that syrup.
Hit it with a little powdered sugar.
Oh, yum. Matt, thank you so much for sharing this recipe. This is, I think, going to be one of my new go-tos. I love it. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Happy holidays.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.